Hello, I didn't see you there. My name is Yusuf Zaid. I am a computer science student at Carleton University. I decided to pursue computer science because I want to have a large positive impact on as many people as I possibly can. I am able to do this with software while really enjoying the process. During high school, I interned at Nokia, where I was a software developer intern, and I modernized some of their legacy code from Perl to Python. Later, I mentored at Udacity for a full year for their data engineering nano-degree program. There, I helped students fully utilize data into their projects and be able to create really cool applications. I am currently a full-stack intern at Nokia, where I'm the sole owner of a testing automation tool used by engineers all across the company. There, I work with the engineers to determine what features should be added and how they should operate, and then I implement those features all on my own. I also worked on various side projects and participated in hackathons. In fact, I was one of the winners of the University of Toronto Makeathon for a sign language detection program. Like I said before, I'm passionate about software because with it I'm able to create amazing and fantastical programs that can affect the lives of people all around the world. With software, I can entertain someone for a little bit, make their day a little easier, or completely change their lives. The possibilities are only limited by what I am able to imagine. I also really enjoy the process. I really enjoy coming to a problem, finding a feature, and then working hard to solve it and figure out how to implement it. Whenever I do that, it's always a rush, sort of. And whenever the problem is more complex or the harder the problem is, the bigger the rush, and I really enjoy that. That's why I want to work at Microsoft. At Microsoft, no other company has affected the world quite as much. From the way people live their lives, it has been changed in an irreversible way. The work currently being done at Microsoft is extremely interesting to me, and that's why I want to join Microsoft. It would be a dream to be able to contribute and affect people in the same way Microsoft does every single day. I'd also like to showcase a project I have been recently working on. This project came about when I was talking to my friend, and he was telling me how he wants to invest in stocks, but was really worried about putting money down and worrying that he might lose it and not understanding how it really works. So I came up with the idea of creating a simulation that he would be able to join and test out the stock market without having the risk of losing money and learning more about it. And when I talked about it with more of my friends, they seemed really interested. So I decided to build out the application and let them use it and see how it works. And with that, I also understand how the market works better, and would be a big learning experience for everyone. The website ended up being much bigger of a project than I thought. As I learned more about the stock market, there's more features and more nuances I had to keep in mind while building it. The website uses Node.js for the back end, as well as React and React hooks for the front end. All the code is written with TypeScript, which allows me strict types for all the data I have, which allows for cleaner code. The data is stored with a NoSQL Mongo database that is being accessed with Mongoose and in Node.js. Here is a preview of what the site looks like and how it's currently being accessed. So any user is able to log in with a username and a password. That has to either be registered or just they can log in if they already have done so, and then they can go to the home screen. There they can check out all the different stocks. Here I can see that there's an event subscription for IBM and Nike, where I set how much I want to be notified if they change a certain amount. I can also search for Microsoft or search for any different stock, and we have a list of different stocks available here. At each stock you can see some information at the top. Here you can see how many you own, how many have been traded today, today's high and low, and you can set the price of the stocks and number of stocks you would like to buy or sell, and then that would put in an order. You can see there's a plethora of different stocks they added, including Microsoft's, and this was just information that has been randomly assigned since no one is using it right now. And then when you hit the next day, it would move to the next day and fast forward instead of having to wait in real time. And then you can see that the prices are changing and the transactions are changing. You can also see your own account. You can see how much investment value you have, and you can see how much cash you have in the account. You can see what stocks you own. You can see out of each stock you own, if you want to buy more, you can. If you want to change the number of stocks, you can. And that allows you to get bigger access to everything on every page. Here I bought some Microsoft stock. So that was a bid, which is something in the stock market where you don't actually buy it right away, you'd have to find a seller. So I fast forward the next day and you can see the quantity of the order decreased and the number of owned stocks increased. And then I move to the next day as well. You can see that happens again. And this is just a rough simulation of a stock market with different stocks. So here my transaction has been complete, so the order disappeared and I now own all the stock I ordered. Here you can also see the subscribed stock, so I can see and be notified of any changes to the stock based on what I deem as being change-worthy. And then here's a watch list of different lists that I can subscribe to and I can create. So here I can go back and then I can see all the different stocks, and each of these is a reusable component that has been created with React and React hooks, which allows it to be reused and modified in a lot of different places. So here you can see all the code that I created. It became a large project, so there's a lot of different files. Here is the initializing the database code, and with this I ended up creating the schemas for all the collections for the data types I ended up storing in the MongoDB database. Here are some helper functions that would be used in many other files, so they're being accessed through here and they're being created in a modular fashion so they can be generic and used throughout. And as you can see, there's so many of them. This would be for the back end. And here as well I have the API back end. I have a fully working REST API for this server where I can access the stock information, the bid information, the ask information about the user. Private user information is obviously encrypted, but everything else can be accessed depending if you have the right permissions. So here I'm using bcrypt to make sure that passwords are encrypted correctly and everything is safe. And each REST post or GET has different queries that can be sent out to further filter it out depending on who's calling the API. And I end up using a lot of these in the front end as well. Here, it's same for stocks. Every single one of these has their own use, and for every single resource there's the appropriate RESTful calls that can be made for either to delete, post, update, depending on the resource and depending on the needs. So here, moving to the front end, we can see that there's the main app page, and here a lot of the data is called and a lot of it is actually moved around and passed through the different components that are reused throughout the website and the web application. And this is the main building blocks. As you can see, it becomes quite complex since the code is added in and the calls are made from the API, and then they have to be filtered or moved to the correct places and make sure that everything is done with the user's interaction in mind. So there's a lot of different things to take into account and a lot of different pages and components that are all working with each other. As you can see here, there's quite a number of components. The biggest one would be the stock component that allows users to view stocks and the stock information, expand the stock component to give more information and give a bigger history of the stocks. All of these come together in the final site to bring in the full experience. Alright, so that's the end of the project showcase. I'm really looking forward to talking to you more and getting to chat about either the project or more about my experiences and learning more about what you do. Looking forward to the interview. Goodbye.